Hello everyone. Today you will be learning about the session on .NET. .NET, it's a technology which was said to be introduced by the Microsoft, which was helping out in communicating to various systems, your languages which you have implemented in one of the systems, or it may be implemented in the framework. That languages are said to be incorporated to many other systems, or whatever data is there in one system, it has to be incorporated in multiple systems if you want to get communicated. This .NET, it helped out in communicating from one end to another end, where you are able to link one code to another code through the help of the .NET technology. Okay, so this .NET, it is said to be meant mainly for linking of multiple languages at a time, and you are said to be doing multiple tasks at a time. For that reason, the .NET facility was said to be incorporated by the Microsoft. Okay, so today one by one we will be learning little bit history of about the .NET. .NET was said to be started by the Microsoft company in the 1990s. It was said to be incorporated. Okay, it was said to be incorporated in 1990s, and next generate is also in the beginning when it was introduced in 1990s. It was called as Next Generation Windows Service. It's nothing but Next Generation Windows Service is nothing but whatever facilities which are there incorporated now in the systems, it can be even supported to the in future systems also. Okay, it was introduced in 1990s. It was capable to handle the systems in the next generation also. In the 2000 also it was able to facilitate. So when I am introducing now in the 2020, this facilities can be incorporated in the future years also. For that reason it is called as the next generation Windows service. So first version which was said to be introduced by the Microsoft was the 1.0, which was said to be introduced, which was said to be stable, which was said to be providing all the facilities while it is said to be communicating globally. Okay, all these facilities were said to be introduced, and it was later till now it is said to be having the 4.5 fifth version, which is said to be having all the facilities, other facilities of linking from one system to another system, multiple systems, multiple networks, multiple web services, multiple websites we are able to link. It is through the .NET framework which was said to be introduced earlier. So many other changes one by one after 2002 it was said to be implemented. So all those changes were said to be what implemented through various companies. One of them is your Microsoft, then they have Hewlett Packard, then it was the Intel, where they have made many changes in the concept of your common language infrastructure. Common language infrastructure, it's nothing but it's a coding type where it will help you out in changing your whole data into a binary language, where it is said to be like you can say a system programming language. Everything it will be changed, and it will be storing the data in a fewer length within the system. You need not represent the whole data in a lengthier format whatever language you are writing, but within the system here it will be designed in a shorter way compared to the other ones. Okay, so in that way, each and every time the concept was said to be changed, every version wise the concept was said to be changed. So next, mainly it was said to be your .NET platform when it was said to be introduced, when it is said to be created, it is said to be meant to be designed for the concept of your Windows platform. Okay, it will be supporting all the windows, any of the windows part, your .NET framework it will be working. For that reason it was designed. Then it was introduced with a CTS. It's nothing but a common type of system which will be helping out in using all the types of data types, and all the programming concepts it will be stored in the FCL, which you will be learning next. What is FCL and everything? It's nothing but a gigantic library which will be having all the details in that particular library. So this is the history and evolution of the .NET. In further slide, next slide, you will be learning about the various generations of that .NET framework. So for one of the generation is 1.0. It was introduced by the VS.NET. Its development tool is said to be a VS.NET. Then it was the VS.NET 2003 1.1 version. Then 2 version it is said to be VS is nothing but your Visual Studio, which supports your Visual Studio. 2005 it was said to be our next generation. Then third version, it was an expression blend. It used to help out with other versions of Visual Studios also. Then in 3.5, it was said to be VS, Visual Studio 2008. 4 is for Visual Studio 2010, and 4.5, after whichever developments of the Visual Studios are there, 2012. Till there, the upgradation have been made in the .NET facility. These and all are the generations of the .NET. You can say the history of .NET, the versions of the .NET. So next you will be learning about what is .NET. You have the thing in your mind, so you have to know what is the meaning of .NET. .NET is nothing but, you can say, a web service strategy which will help you out in connecting to, it will help out to connect to many of the people. It may be the system, it may be the devices. It will be helping out through what it is said to be linking from one system to system, people to people. It is through the software which is helpful in getting connected. It is helpful in sharing the data, plus even it will be having the information to be circulated among various websites. You can circulate even the various programs about over the websites, and even from one computer to another computer you can have a link through the .NET. Okay, so mainly you can say .NET, it is said to be a software framework developed by the Microsoft company. Main aspect of your .NET, it is said to be providing a facility called as interoperability. It's nothing but in the framework you can have multiple languages, and each language can coordinate with each other. Okay, one part of the program I can run in one language, another part of the program I can run in another language. When I converse, you can learn in a single language only. You can get a link and you can get it executed. So multiple paths, you can get it into a single one. And your .NET framework, it is said to be having your FCL, where FCL are also called as BCL. It's nothing but a framework class library, a bigger library. Why it is said to be a bigger library, a gigantic library? It's nothing but you can have multiple things in your particular library, a main library from which you can get all the things. Nothing is said to be not present in that particular library. Everything is said to be present in that particular library, where you can fetch it and use it wherever you want. Like that, a library is being provided in the .NET. Okay, so next we move on to the various special parts of what is said to be there in the .NET. .NET, it is nothing but it is said to be the advanced version of Java. It is same like Java, but it is said to be having advanced features than that of Java. It's also a GUI based language where it will support the graphical user interface. You can communicate through graphics. Everything that is said to be present in the .NET. Okay, and every data or whatever projects you are said to be doing, it can be executed in a less time. Okay, and it works very faster compared to other languages, and it can, as I said, it can incorporate multiple languages in a single framework. So all these are the special things which are said to be present in .NET. This is the structure of the .NET. You can see various structures are there where you are said to be having this multiple languages which are said to be incorporated in a single framework, and the CLS, it will help you out in executing all the languages, all the programs which are written in different languages, which can be executed as a single one through the help of a CLS. And it even supports various ASP.NET. Nothing but if I want to execute one thing in Windows Forms, one another thing in the console application, that also can be done. And even it incorporates the format of Windows Forms. You can generate multiple Windows Forms here in the .NET framework, and you can have a ADO.NET database files also can be linked, and you can transport a file from one end to another end through the XML. And in this structure you can see you have a base class library. It's nothing but the FCL, which will be helping out in the whole aspect of .NET. Then you have the CLR. CLR is nothing but it's a common runtime language. It's nothing but a single compiler is there which will help you out in executing all the processes. And lastly, you have the operating system, which acts as an intermediary between the user and the system, which supports in executing all the things. Okay, this is the basic structure of a .NET. So next, you will be learning about the components of the .NET. There are four main components of .NET. One is CLR, FCL, CTS, and CLS. These are said to be the most important one in the structure, or you can say the framework of .NET. Okay. So one by one, we will be dealing with the structure of or components of the .NET. You can see what is a common language runtime. It's nothing but this common language runtime. It will help you out in running, as I said, multiple codes at a time. It can manage the code. It can load and store the data in that particular area. How much data it may be there, that data it will be present in that particular system, and if it wants to be removed from the system, you have a separate garbage collector in .NET framework, which will help you out in removing all the data from the system. Okay. Then you have a FCL. FCL, it's nothing but, as I said, it's a framework class libraries which will be having all the data which is said to be present. Okay, you have multiple classes, you have multiple interfaces, you have value types within the library. It's nothing but classes is nothing but if I want to have a class in one language, one class it will be there, another class can be declared in another language, or one interface in one language, another interface in another language. Like that, multiple interfaces also it supports, and it will be stored everything in the FCL. And next one is your CTS. CTS, it is nothing but it's a set of data types which are said to be declared in the system. So whichever data types you are said to be using within the system, it will be declared and it will be stored in the CTS. Data types, you, as you all know, it may be using the integer data type, it may be float data type, it may be the character types, it may be various other types which are being supported in the any of the languages. All those data types it will be present in the CTS. Whereas CLS is nothing but it is a part of your CTS. It's nothing but you can say a subset. Whatever data types you are said to be using in the CTS, all those data types it will be following the rules and regulations which are being set by the CLS. Okay, when the for example, if I say government has made the rules and regulations in the traffic signals. Okay, it has the traffic signals maybe of three colors. Okay, red, green and yellow. All those are the traffic signals, but they have been introduced, they have their own meanings, they have their own rules and regulations. The rules and regulations are nothing but your CLS. Okay, when you are using various concepts or various data types within the concept, those data types, it has to follow certain rules and regulations which are being done by the CLS. Okay, so this is the part, or you can say the components of the uh, .NET. Next, we move on to a concept called as advantages of .NET. Advantages, you can say your .NET it is said to be very user friendly. Your .NET it is said to be user friendly. It's nothing but it can be used by anybody without any disturbance, without any problem. They can use this particular framework, and it is said to be interoperable. It can operate with any other language that is there, and since it is said to be having multiple languages, since you are personally like involved in those particular concepts, it has more security, and each language they have their own secured part within that. Then it will be your .NET framework helps out with the XML. It's nothing but it helps out in transporting your data from one part to another part. And cascading, it consists of the CSS. It's nothing but cascading style sheets, which makes your layouts, nothing but your graphical user interface layouts, to be more specific and more attractive. That it will be done through the CSS. And next part is permits a wide variety of internet devices to access the data and application. It's nothing but, as we have learnt in the beginning slides only, like the .NET, it is said to be helpful in getting connected to various other systems also through the web facility. So web facility, linking from one part to another part, one network to another network, it is done through the help of the .NET framework. And it can incorporate multiple other softwares within the framework. Within the framework, we can have multiple softwares in a single framework, which can facilitate in designing the framework. Okay, and last one, it is said to be helpful in maintaining the, or you can say the tracking the various websites which you are there. which you are said to be using, those it can be monitored, plus you can prepare the reports of that particular tracking can be done. So all these are the advantages of your .NET. So today you have learned in this session about what is .NET, the versions of .NET, the history of .NET which you have learned, and which are the components of .NET and what are the advantages of .NET you are said to be learned in this particular concept. Okay, so in the next session, which and all languages which are being used will be learning, plus we will be learning about the main language which is the part of .NET, it's your C# that you will be learning in the future session. Okay, thank you.